Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I do not understand this game and the marking, but there are 2 dots, and then 10 dots, 10 dots, 10 dots, 2 dots. So they go kind of round, but on one side there's only 1 dot, and then there's 2 dots. So I don't know exactly, but what I made this board the same size as this other board, and luckily the pinholes or dowel holes are 1/4 of an inch, because that's a big deal, because if you want the laser to mark it, if you will engrave down just a little bit into the wood, you can use what's called a Forstner bit that drills a flat bottom, and there it is right there, Forstner bit. And if you engrave that 1/4 of an inch and fill it in with black and engrave it down, that bit will fit down in that recess just ever so slightly, and then you can take your drill press, or even a hand drill, but a drill press would be much better, and it'll be dead on because you marked the spot. You're not marking a center hole, you're marking the depth of you can actually move the bit down in the hole before you turn the machine on, and it'll give you a good clean, crisp bottom hole. Now, if it's a 1/4 inch or less, you're going to have a hard time finding an 1/8 of an inch Forstner bit. But you could use an 1/8 of an inch brad point bit, almost do the same thing. It won't drill quite as flat as a hole, but it'll work. But the cat's meow would be this Forstner bit. It drills, and it has just a little bit of a pinhole to keep it on track, but it's going to drill you a flat hole. So let's figure out how many of these ones we need. There's 5 holes, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and saving a little bit on the end. I figured out that they were a 1/4 inch around. I'm going to make them red, and they're 0.55 apart. So we're going to go Control D. No, that ain't right. What did I measure a while ago? I took my parallel dimension tool, and from that hole, 1.55, about. I must have hit it twice, ladies and gentlemen, because that's too far away. 0.55, Control D, there we go. Control D, Control D, Control D. Now let's just take these over to our board and see if we're even close. Now we're way off. So can't really squash them, so let's do this. Let's put them back on the board. Let's delete these. And let's just do it this way, Control D, and make our nudge. Maybe that's what's wrong right there. He had his duplicate distance off. Let's try this again, 0.55. Control D, that's what it was. I forgot to check, he had his XY duplicate distance off. So let's just start again. Take our 1 hole. See, we've still got that grid in the background. That bugs me. I don't ever use it, so I don't know how to turn it off. So Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. So we've got our 10 holes. Now we're going to Control D and put them down. So that's what we need, and you can maybe put those a little bit, they look like they're down a little bit further. Let's change it to 0.1 and move the other ones down just a hair. Let's see what they look like on the board itself. See if that's enough room. Yeah, that's good. So now, what we can do, and hopefully this will work, I'm going to group these together, Control G, and I'm not going to worry about the other holes. Control D and make a duplicate of them. Well, if you ever move anything, make sure you move it back. And hold any other control button. And I think they go to about that. I didn't make a duplicate. So let's put them about right here. Now, because I don't know, you know, that one probably needs to come in a little bit. So let's do this. Let's see if this works. It looks like I've got double there, and I did. So whenever you, from a distance, you can see this. Let's see if we can't blend this. I don't know if this is going to work. Effects, blend. We need 4 of them, 4 blends. That worked. So there's your holes. Grab that, Control D and make a duplicate, holding down your control button and move them this side. Now you might want to do it more precisely. And then you could do the same thing over here. It's a shorter size. But the main reason I wanted to make the video, and then you need to insert your other 1 or 2 holes, and that's easily done. I just wanted to tell, I've been woodworking all my life. And I do a lot with Forstner bits. So if you take that 1/4 inch hole and turn all those black, take away the hairline, black, and I think I did that one the opposite. Sometimes when I'm talking, well, come on, zoom tool. Yeah, I did that the opposite. So fill it in with black and take away the outline. If you will engrave this, and it, you know, this, you're just gonna have to figure out what you're gonna engrave. You're gonna have to sand it off anyway, because you're gonna have a lot of burn residue on a line that thick. But before I would engrave these pretty deep, maybe engrave them separately at 50 power, you know, 100 speed, or 100 power, 50 speed, go pretty deep. And then your bit is gonna fit in, and I would do a test piece before I even made my first hole. You know, take a scrap piece of wood, burn a hole, and then take your Forstner bit and see if it doesn't fit down in there. Because you might make it a little bit smaller or bigger. But that's how I would do it. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.